mission, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to And I Quote, the weekly show. We introduce you to content creators of all shapes and sizes. Join us from any and all corners of the nerd universe. I am your host, Ryan of Nerd Culture, and our guest this week is someone that myself and the Nerd Culture team have been looking forward to having on the show for a very, very long time. She does everything, whether it's cosplaying, whether it's podcasting, whether it's writing, anything else we can think of. I'm sure it'll come up in the comment section below. But I've never done this before. We're going to give this a shot. Please welcome our special guest for this week's episode of And I Quote, the one, the only, Kelly Guentner. Kelly, welcome to the program. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today, Ryan?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you so much for being with us on this week's episode of And I Quote. We are so happy to have you here. And if you have any questions for Kelly Guentner as we go throughout the course of today's program, leave it in the live chat, leave it in the comments. Our producer is going to keep keeping an eye on that, as we go throughout the course of the show. Kelly, starting things off here, let's go into the Wayback Machine for a minute. What would you say were some of your favorite movies or TV series while you were growing up?
Well, my very first introduction to any kind of superheroes was when I was 5, and that was She-Ra. And I would run around pretending I was She-Ra, and I just loved She-Ra so much that my dad made me like a wooden sword and shield. And I would be holding up that sword all the time. Then it was X-Men and Batman the Animated Series and Power Rangers, all Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, all that good stuff. Like, being an 80s kid was good. It was a good time.
It was, wasn't it? Absolutely. But rapid fire, favorite Ninja Turtle?
Raphael.
The dark, brooding one, always, angry about something.
Yes.
What was riding his cycle or his car, whatever it was, to get away from everybody, like he kind of sort of did in Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, which we won't talk about from Fox Kids. But favorite Power Ranger of all time?
Kimberly.
Going with pink in the pterodactyl, I see.
Oh yeah.
All right. Have you had a chance to meet Amy Jo Johnson at conventions anywhere?
Sadly, no. This needs to happen.
I guess we'll put that on your to-do list for when Earth reopens next year, hopefully after some of this chaos has calmed down.
It's on my bucket list for sure.
Please do. Met her once. She was nice person. It was actually one of her first conventions that she did, and I met her at that. Went to one of her VIP events. It was fun. Had my White Ranger shirt on, got the photo op, had her sign my MMPR, the movie, DVD. That's right, DVD. It's still a thing. That was fun. What would you say were some of your favorite comic books growing up? What do you think?
So growing up, I did not read comics. I was actually really late to comics. I didn't start reading comics till I was in my early 20s.
Ooh.
And then which I am forever mad about all the lost time.
Mm-hmm.
Forever mad about it. Like, I kind of yelled at my dad. I was like, why didn't you tell me? The comics were so amazing. But you know what? I just didn't. It was a small town. We did have a comic shop, but it was a really small comic shop, and I just didn't know about it. It is what it is. But then when I was in my early 20s, I finally, because I loved so many superhero stories in other genres, so in movies and TV shows and animated shows, that I finally started looking into the source materials. So what I would do is I would look up on Wikipedia what's the early appearances of these characters I love, and then I would go on like Mile High Comics and buy the back issues.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't buy the mint. I usually couldn't afford the mint, so I would buy like very fine rated back issues of like important comics or their first appearances or whatever. And then that's how I got into comics.
Wow, fascinating. You know what they say, better late than never when it comes to the comic book universe, comic book genre. By the way, some people are already chiming in here in the chat. Carl Witzman, hello and good morning. It's actually afternoon where we are, Carl, but hey, it's morning somewhere. So good on you, Carl. By the way, someone joining us from Twitch. I'm trying to say, what is it? Zegra71 says, question, favorite kaiju film? Kaiju is giant monsters destroying cities like Godzilla and Mothra, Ghidorah, all those kind of creatures, maybe Pacific Rim. Any thoughts on that, Kelly? Favorite kaiju film?
Definitely Pacific Rim.
Oh, Pac Rim. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. No love lost for that horrible sequel, right? Uprising. Whew, nasty. Not a good film. Not a good film. And then Zegra, what is it, 71 or 91? 71 says, I just got a Mothra statue from overseas in Japan. Well, good for you.
Nice.
Good for you. That's fantastic. And Carl gets his words right. He says, good afternoon there. Thank you, Carl.
I mean, I'm in the Central Time Zone. It's still morning.
It's still morning. It's morning somewhere. That's okay. I'm on the East Coast. A lot of people we know may be on Central Pacific time or just another time zone entirely. So who knows where everybody's at? That's too many people to keep track of. Who would you say are some of your favorite comic writers or artists? And this could be today, since you got started late in the game. Who do you say are some of your favorite comic writers or artists of now?
Mark Waid.
Oh yeah, Mark Waid's the man.
Gail Simone, Kelly Thompson. And then for artists, the Dodsons, Terry and Rachel, Joelle Jones. Oh, who else? Oh my gosh. I have a harder time retaining artists' names, even though I'll see their name and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I really love this artist. And then I don't remember their names as much because I tend to follow the writers. But definitely the Dodsons and Joelle Jones are some of my favorites.
Good picks. Between you and me, I like Mark Waid too, because he wrote my favorite graphic novel known as Kingdom Come, which I didn't know turns 25 this year. That is ridiculous.
Happy 25th anniversary to Mark Waid's Kingdom Come.
Gosh.
We should all send him cards.
Cannot believe that. But congrats to Mark Waid, Alex Ross, Kingdom Come, one of the greatest stories ever told. For me personally, it's my favorite graphic novel of all time. Granted, I still got a lot more to read because, as Kelly, you and I both know, there's a lot of material out there in the world that we have yet to discover. So we got a long list. See how long my list is on my non-existent desk? It's probably 6 miles long now. So
that's why I'm so mad that I got a late start, because there's so much to read.
Same here. Got a late start. Didn't start reading until 4 years ago on Batman Day. 2017, believe it or not.
Nice.
But what a way to kick off my comic reading adventure on I'm Batman. Batman Day, right? So what was your first Comic-Con, Kelly? What was the first one?
The Metropolis Superman Celebration, which is not your typical Comic-Con. It is basically a street fair with the Superman theme. It is wonderful. And the way I discovered it is a really fun story. So I discovered Metropolis years before I went to the Superman celebration. I discovered it getting lost, going to Florida, as you do. Yeah. My sister and I were driving to Florida. This was before GPS was a thing. This was back when you printed out the MapQuest directions. And it was late at night. It was snowing. And we took a wrong turn. And we're driving. We needed gas. It was like 2 a.m. And the gas tank was low. I saw a sign that said Metropolis, home of Superman. And I looked at my sister. I was like, we need to stop there for gas. So we did. Stopped there for gas. The gas station right off the highway in Metropolis is basically a tourist trap gas station. It's fantastic. It is just a souvenir shop. It's wonderful. So that's as far as we got, because again, it was 2 a.m. We bought some souvenirs. So I took home a coffee mug that said Metropolis, home of Superman, and brought that home, used that mug for years. And then 6 or 7 years later, I'm using that mug. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I wonder what else is in this town that claims itself to be home of Superman. This is Metropolis, Illinois, by the way.
Right.
For anyone who doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I Googled it. And I'm like, whoa, they have a celebration every year. I'm like, I need to go to this. It was like 6 months out from the celebration when I Googled it. So I like booked my hotel and made my travel plans like within 24 hours of Googling it. And I went and I'm wandering around, see people in costume, and I'm like, okay, this is a thing you can do when it's not Halloween. These are my people. This is my home. This is it. This is my thing. And that's, yeah. Metropolis is a very special place in my heart. And the people of Metropolis, the people who go to the Superman celebration are my second family. It's amazing.
Goodness gracious. Well, Superman Celebration is indeed on my bucket list, considering how big of a Superman fan I am. It may not say here in the background because this is our studio, but I am wearing a DC Trinity shirt, so
yes,
you know,
I love it.
That kind of counts, right? That's kind of important.
It counts.
It certainly helps. Now we have a question coming in hot from Carl Witzman. He asks, "Did you cosplay as a kid, or did you start cosplaying as an adult?"
That is a good question. So I dressed up a lot as a kid. There are pictures. I keep asking my parents to find this picture. There's a picture of me in like a Star-Spangled bathing suit pretending to be Wonder Woman. And there are just pictures of me dressing up all the time. But I didn't start seriously cosplaying until I went to Metropolis in 2008. That was the start of my like cosplay. So, but I was doing cosplay where I would make costumes for Halloween when I was younger, for sure.
Goodness gracious. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for the question, Carl. By the way, we're talking with Kelly Guentner of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. If you have any questions for her during any portion of the show, leave it in the live chat, leave it in the comments. We will get to it as they come in. Also, you make sure you're sharing this video with all 500 of your closest friends. They're going to like the way they look after watching our videos. I guarantee it. By the way, we were talking about comic book writers and artists just a few moments ago, and Zegro71 on Twitch says, Matt Frank, Akira Toriyama, I hope I'm saying that right, Kachichiro Itomo, I'm going to butcher some of these names and I apologize, Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird are some of my favorite comic book people, that person says. All right.
Nice.
Good one. And regarding your cosplay, Zegro71 says, I cosplayed as Ultraman Taro, Ultra 7, I hope I'm saying that right, Raiden, Sub-Zero, Jason Voorhees, and even Michael Myers.
I like it.
That is a very unique, diverse resume, if I do say so myself. Gee willik, man, loving these questions, loving these comments. Keep bringing them in, folks. We absolutely love it to pieces. Now, Kelly, who do you hope to meet at conventions in the future that you haven't had a chance to meet yet?
Pretty much everyone on my comic writer and artist list, aside from, I've already met Gail Simone twice. But other than that, everyone else. So I did get the chance to interview Mark Waid recently, and that was amazing. I know you know that already. But...
Yes, I'm very jello of you for doing that because Mark Waid, my goodness. By the way, great interview, by the way. And he seems like a really down-to-earth, chill, nice guy.
Nice.
So
I very much teared up at multiple points during the interview because hearing him speak about his views on the characters and his writing process was very inspiring, and he just seems like a really nice, down-to-earth guy. He seems also very willing to redirect whenever we gave him credit. He would kind of redirect credit to the artist he was working with. And it's like, no, dude, I think you can take some credit. Like, every so often he would just say thank you when we complimented him, but a lot of times he would redirect the credit we gave to him, which he's a very stand-up guy and very, very nice.
I would say so. And also I look forward to meeting him somewhere down the line, have him sign my Kingdom Come paperback.
For real.
That would be great, Mark Waid. I'm just saying, brother. Hope to see you at a convention somewhere down the line. Now, Now, something I want to ask you. When did you decide to become a writer? Because we have this, Scorcher. Two-parter. First of all, when did you decide to become a writer? And tell us about Scorcher. How did that come about?
So I have been writing since as long as I can remember, since I was like at least in middle school. Just writing is something I can't help but do. Like, I love telling stories. It's kind of like mental health release for me. Scorcher itself came about, gosh, when I was in my early 20s. It was a story that I started playing with and developing, and finally just started beating it into submission and putting it into a format that I was proud enough to put out into the world. So, and unfortunately, the sequel has taken longer to beat into submission, but that is with my editor right now, who is our cameo special guest. And she's working on it. And she will be getting it back to me soon, and then I can make my final edits and put it out into the world. But the sequel has taken like a decade. It's been hard.
It's okay. You know, movies that have sequels don't come out until 10, 15 years after the last one. You know, we've seen it happen with many movie franchises over the course of time. Now, granted, movies and putting together a book are two very different things and two very different mediums. Don't get me wrong. But you know what they say, Kelly, good things come to those who wait. But Scorcher, what's the synopsis? Tell us about it.
Yes. So it is about a pyrokinetic villain who basically has grown up as part of within this organization that commits crimes internationally, and they have groomed her to be an operative that steals and infiltrates politically, and she just does whatever they require her to do. And she's really starting to question whether or not she wants to be a part of that organization anymore, and starting to really question whether or not that's what she wants to be doing with her life. And so it's about the path she wants to be taking and the steps she might need to take to separate from the villainous organization she is a part of. And in the other corner, there is a superhero with ice powers who is trying to bring her and the organization down, and it's about her clashes with that hero. And that is all you're going to get from me. So you'll have to pick up the story and read it.
Yamahama, it's fight night. No, that sounds like fun. Battle sequences, people going at each other, figuring out which side you're truly going to be on. I mean, you know, sign me up, as one person would say. Now, with Scorcher, and you having been a writer for so long, what would you say are some of the rewards of being a writer?
It's really fun to just sit down and see your character. Well, so I don't always outline. I kind of let the characters drive. So it's fun to sit down and see where the characters will take the story. So I'll have a vague goal in mind of where I think the story is going to go, and it's fun to see how the story reveals itself as I'm writing. And sometimes the characters surprise me, and it makes me sound a little crazy, but the voices talk to me.
No, it's fine. Every writer has their own writing process, and we should respect that. So to a certain degree, I understand. On the flip side of the coin, though, what do you say are some of the biggest challenges of being a writer?
The worlds and story ideas in my head are so much more awesome than what I could ever possibly write down. I can never quite realize it. It's just, what you can think of and then what you can communicate are two different things. So I wish I could just like let you all see what's in my brain, because what's in my brain is cooler. But so far, I haven't figured out how to just open up a window into my brain and pour it onto the page.
All good. Whatever works for you. Any special memories from being at conventions or other events, whether you're there selling your book or you're there with Phoenix Sisters Cosplay or you're there as an attendee?
Oh, so many. So meeting Gail Simone for the first time and making an idiot of myself was really fun. So I'm going to blame it on pregnancy hormones, because why not? I was pregnant at the time, and Gail Simone is my absolute favorite writer and just a hero of mine. So and also this was like the first time meeting a writer that I was really a huge fan of, really first time meeting a comic writer in general. So I was really nervous about making sure that I got the right kind of Sharpie for her to write on my comic book, because the comic book of hers that I was gonna have her sign had a really dark first page.
Right.
So I wanted to get a metallic Sharpie. I was like, I don't know if she'll have the right kind of Sharpie. I'm telling my husband and his best friend this because they're with me, and they're like, Kelly, I'm pretty sure she's gonna have a Sharpie. I was like, I don't know if she will. I'm like, we need to go to the store and get a Sharpie. And they're looking at me like I'm crazy. Because, yeah. But they're also like, okay, don't argue with the pregnant lady. Don't argue with the pregnant lady. So finally, this was at Superman Celebration. And for Superman Celebration, they block off the whole main street.
Right.
So finally, I dragged them into one of the stores on the main street. And as we're going into the store, and I'm dressed as Black Canary because I wasn't showing or anything.
Right.
So as we're going into the store, Gail Simone walks out. And the first words out of my mouth are not anything clever. I just look at her. I'm like, I was just going into the store to buy a Sharpie so you could sign my comic book. And she just looked at me and was very kind. She was like, it's okay. I have Sharpies at my table. You can come by my table and I'll sign your comic book. You don't need to buy a Sharpie. And then we got pictures together, and her husband said that my Black Canary costume was the best he'd ever seen, which was really nice of him to say. Really, really nice.
That's a good feather to have in one's cap.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
It was amazing. It was very amazing. But yeah, not the best first impression with like your comics idol. But I'm awkward. This is who I am.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Wow, Gail Simone. That is definitely certainly a good one. What advice would you give to aspiring writers out there?
Well, if you want to write, now's the time to start. And the best thing, or the thing that helped me most, is to seek out advice from writers. So I looked up blogs from published writers on the writing process and also the publishing process. Now, when I published my first book, it was like 12 years ago, when self-publishing was just starting to become more accessible. And I am self-published, but at the time, self-publishing was a little more taboo and a little bit more looked down on. First of all, self-publishing is valid. Traditional publishing is valid. There's good points to each one. Depending on which way you want to go, look up blogs from writers who have gone whichever route you want to go. But also, before you even figure out which type of publishing you want to do, you got to get a good book. So you have to get a good editor. You have to look up just thoughts or writers who have information on their writing process. You have to find a writing process that works for you. And you just have to write. You just have to rip off that Band-Aid and keep writing. And your first book may not be something you want to show to anyone, and that's okay. even if you write something that is not good, at least you've written an entire book and getting that experience. And sometimes you have to write a few bad books before you write a book that you're proud of. Everything is a learning experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great advice. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Once again, we're talking with Kelly Guentner of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. Any questions for her? Let us know in the comments. Also, make sure you're sharing this video with all 600 of your friends, because they're going to like the way they look after watching this video. I guarantee it. People are chiming in about Scorcher a moment ago. Carl Witzman says, a story about a redhead? Sign me up, please. Wow, Carl, do you have a thing for redheads? Is that what's going on?
I had no idea, Carl.
Willow Schuyler is here with us. She says, good afternoon, folks. Willow, you sweet thing. How are you? By the way, someone named Craley Vanis is here. She says, Scorcher is amazing. I just couldn't put it down. Craley. That's a nice thing to say. In regards to, let's see here. What else do we have? Good Lord. Carl says, in regards to writing, my writer wife says that her characters talk to her as well. I control my characters more, I guess. I don't know, Carl. That's you as a writer. You do you, buddy. You do you. And then in regards to your story about Gail Simone, Carl says that's probably not the craziest thing that lady has ever heard.
Probably not. Which makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, no, it should. I'm just trying to make a not so good joke there. Craley also says, should I cosplay as the character of Aiden from Scorcher?
Yes, for a literary episode of Cosplay Cafe.
Interesting. Now, who would you say, Kelly, are some of your favorite writers now? People who write those things called books, words on a page. And please don't say the name that shall not be said, Brian K. Morris.
Oh, yeah, that guy's terrible.
I know. He's a horrible writer. He's only got like 5 or 6, 7 or 8 like books on Amazon that are like bestsellers right now. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what he put in the Kool-Aid. But Brian K. Morris,
pretty amazing.
Yeah, but he is kind of amazing, though. And Brian K. Morris is a super fellow. He knows a thing or two about Superman. But so, yeah, outside of Brian K. Morris, once again, Brian, we've mentioned your name, so take another shot. Who are some of your favorite writers?
My friend Paul Leone is really talented. He writes a lot of good. He writes kind of like some fantasy, some just atmospheric. Like, how would you describe Paul's books?
They're like
a lot of vampire stuff.
Yeah, they're very set in our world. It's like it brings the magic here.
Okay, so like, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm a little brain dead.
No, it's okay. I feel like there's another person somewhere in another studio on another planet somewhere, because I'm hearing another voice. Hello, sound, help me! I'm hearing somebody twice.
And then Sarah Frades is really good. Sarah J. Maas is also really good.
Oh, that's okay.
Let's see. Again, I'm drawing some blanks.
How many other names could we possibly raffle off? Because we know, so many writers on Facebook. Gosh, I mean, isn't Carl Witzman a writer? And Donna Carly Carleen? I mean, she, both of them are writers, I believe.
They're both amazing writers.
Ted Davies. That's another one that comes to mind. Anyone know who Ted Davies is? And if you don't, please go to teddaviesartistry.com for more information on that. Hashtag support your friends.
Yes.
Just saying. Well, those
Christmas
are good.
Is coming up, so now's a good time to buy from your artist friends.
That is a fair point. The holiday season is in full swing, folks. It's in full swing. Just so you know that now, Kelly, I do have one question that's been on my mind for a very long time, and I think we need to get an answer to this, and I'm very curious to hear what this is. I have something here to show you, the viewer. These two individuals, there's something out there in this universe called Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. Now, I've been told that there is someone else who is in your studio at this very moment who may have something to say about this. So, Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, what exactly is it? How did it start? And where can everyone find those individuals?
Yes, let's bring in our special guest.
Should have waited till she sat down, but whatever. Oh, no, it's fine. Hey, you.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I had to fly in from.
Okay, so Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. Tell us about it.
All right. So Crayley and I have been, it's been 3 years since we joined forces officially.
I think it's been 4. I'm almost on my 3rd year in my house, and I lived in the apartment when it started.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Happy 4 year. So we bonded over, it's been 5 years since we bonded over this. We bonded over having migraines on the same day.
Oh.
All the time. Crayley was living in Colorado and I was living in Wisconsin. So we were in different time zones, different elevations, and we just started talking regularly. And we would mention when we would have migraines, and we'd be like, "That's weird. I'm also having a migraine." And we started talking so much because we were planning a photo shoot where we were both going to be Jean Grey. I was going to be Green Phoenix. She was going to be Dark Phoenix. And we also realized that we had a lot in common. Like, we thought a lot alike. And so at some point, one of us was like, okay, so we're having migraines a lot. Do we maybe have a Phoenix connection? This is creepy.
Right. I was just like, uh-oh, like migraines is one of the first symptoms in psychic characters that something's about to go crazy sideways. Like, are we about to like morph or switch bodies Freaky Friday style? Like, what is going on here? So we were like connected by the Phoenix Force to getting psychic migraines on the same day.
And we'll also just like think of things together without talking to each other about them, and then be like, oh yeah, did we talk about that? No, but
we bought pieces for our Starfire and Blackfire costumes without having spoken to each other. And then when one of us was typing about it, I was just like, oh wait, I totally forgot to tell you that I wanted us to do this costume. And Kelly was like, I already started buying stuff. Are we sure we didn't talk about this? We had not.
And then, like a year after we did that first photo shoot, Crayley had started a Patreon, and I was like, hey, do you mind if I just jump on your Patreon and we become Phoenix Sisters Cosplay? And she was like, it took her like a day to think about it. She's like, yeah, we should do that.
Right. I was like, I don't know how I would, like, I was never actually doubting that I was going to partner up with you. I just didn't know how, and I didn't want to talk about it at all until I had like the concept. So I was just like, how would I do this? And like, by the time I told her I wanted to do it, I was like, okay, I'm setting us up like a joint account, and I'm changing the names, and we have like shared everything. Like our Phoenix Sisters page, if you're interacting with us, sometimes you'll be having a conversation and like Kelly will comment, and then I'll comment, and then Kelly will comment, and then partway through we're like, oh, by the way, I'm so-and-so, and I'm so-and-so, and people are like, I thought I was talking to the same person the whole time.
Yeah, conversations just keep, like the Energizer, keep going and going and going. Just, makes sense. So, well, that's just fantastical. Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, what does the future hold for you two superstars?
Oh boy. Well, we are going to continue to do Cosplay Cafe, which Crayley's been on a break from the last few episodes, which is fine because we have Andrea as well as a lovely co-host, and Andrea has been wonderful. And we're hoping to maybe do some convention appearances next year. So we're working on that. And that's the main thing. 2 things we've got in the works.
Yeah, we do monthly features on Patreon too. So there's a new costume of one or both of us every month with early access on Patreon. And then a month after that, we release some or most of the photos to Facebook. So we come up with content like all year long.
Yeah.
All 365 days of a year? That's a lot.
Well, 12 months. 12 months.
12 months. 12 months, 365. Who's counting these days, right?
Thinking about it counts as working on it. I feel like I'm doing at least 360 days a year.
Yeah.
Like there may be only like 5 days a year that I'm not thinking about our projects.
Yeah, we think about it a lot. Next month is going to be Christmas at Xavier Mansion.
Ooh, sounds excellent.
Yeah, we're going to have some guest stars. Our friend Kayla is going to be guesting as Kitty Pryde.
With Shadowcat.
And David Crayley's husband is going to be guesting as Cyclops. So we're going to have a nice, big, happy family.
Do we want to tell the story of how you met my husband before he was my husband?
Yes.
So
sure, please proceed.
I had been dating who is now my husband for less than 6 months.
Oh, wow.
When Kelly and I were planning our Dark Phoenix shoot, Kelly sends me a comic book panel and she's like, okay, so this is one of my bucket list recreations I want to make, but we need a third person. Do you think your boyfriend would be willing, the first time I've ever met him, to take his shirt off for this comic panel? Because it was Emma Frost dressed up as Jean Grey in her Dark Phoenix on a bed with shirtless Scott, and then the Phoenix busting in the door. And so I was like, I can make him. Okay. Like, this is like a test of the early relationship. I'm like, is he willing to get into my hobbies this deep? Right. And so I sent him the comic book panel. I was like, hey, what do you think of this? And he was like, I have no context for what is going on here. And I was like, well, you're the shirtless guy now. And he was like, what? And so Kelly met David in person in the lobby of the hotel the night before. So it wasn't like as weird. But then at the hotel, she was joking around. She was like, nice to meet you. Take your shirt off.
I like to make things awkward.
Yeah, because I was gonna say your Antoine got a little hot under the collar. You know, oh my gosh, this is like Chippendales meets Magic Mike. I don't know what's going on, but something's happening when someone takes their shirt off. Okay. So anyway, I take it the photo shoot did go on as proceeded or planned.
It did.
Okay. Did it go off without a hitch though?
Yes.
It was. We were in perfect sync. It was like our first major photo shoot that we did together.
Wow. It was wonderful. That picture was...
Is it somewhere on the interwebs that the viewer can find it?
Yes, it's on our Facebook page.
We'll reshare it as soon as we get off of here. Definitely.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, because if that's not going to get the comment section talking here, I don't know what will. But hey, we can try, right? We can try. Well, here's another one for you. Any cosplays that you have planned for the future, you know, characters you want to dress up as that you haven't dressed up as before?
So many.
There are so many. Like,
what are we? Oh, next year we're doing a Sailor Moon photo shoot. So
there you go.
Sailor Mars and Sailor Venus.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's gonna be fun.
Very excited. Very excited. My wig came in last week. My Sailor Venus and my Sailor Moon wig.
Yes.
So
did you actually order your Sailor Venus costume?
I did. David had to help me take my measurements because I was like so like excited. My hands were shaking.
This costume has been on her bucket list for like what? How many
decades?
Years?
Maybe
5 years. Yeah.
Oh, 5. Okay,
like,
so we haven't gotten to the decade part yet. That's fine.
I mean, I feel like you've been a Sailor Moon fan forever, so
Since
probably
I was 5 years old or 6 years old.
Yeah,
or something.
so pretty much.
Wow. In the words of my good friend Owen Wilson, wow, that's something. All right. Do you have the whole do you have the whole set of Sailor Moon on Divida or streaming somewhere? Do you have the series?
So like we recently had to pare down our streaming services that we're subscribed to
because there's too many.
Right, but I was like, we can't lose Hulu. And we can't lose Netflix because Sailor Moon, the 90s series, and Sailor Moon Crystal are on Hulu. But then the movie that is the sequel to Sailor Moon Crystal is on Netflix. So not an option. Like, I'm sorry, Peacock has to go.
Peacock has to go. Yeah, no one wants to watch the rebooted version of Saved by the Bell anyway.
Why did they do that? Why?
I don't get it. And plus, it's very meta too. Like they're not even their real characters; they're like playing up, like they're playing altered versions of their characters. And I'm thinking, this is just weird to me because they did the same thing with 90210 a couple years ago. They brought back the original cast, but it wasn't an actual like reboot. It was like, hey, we're meta now, so we can like act like our characters, but we're not really our character. What are you doing, man? Ryan Reynolds did Deadpool 10 years ago. Get over it. We know what meta is. It's been around even before Deadpool came out.
Yeah.
We don't need more meta. If you're going to play a character, play the character, but that's just me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
meta is good in small doses.
Yeah, but it's not good in large doses.
Agreed.
God, tired of it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to go on a rampage here, but just the whole meta thing, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just,
On the note of me making things awkward, should we tell the story of me meeting Matt Ryan? I think I've told you this story before, Ryan.
Yeah, there's too many Ryans. Who are you talking about? No, I'm kidding. No, Matt Ryan, aka the real Constantine. Please stand up. Yeah, no, you know, it's not like we got to go anywhere anytime soon. So yeah, why don't you share with me?
This story is a little risque.
Share this with. This is for you, the viewer who's watching this right now. And by the way, we're talking with both Kelly and Krayley of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. If you have any questions for them, let us know in the comments. Make sure you're sharing this video with all 700 of your best friends. They're gonna like the way they look after watching this video. I guarantee it. So tell us a story about how you met the actor known as Matt Ryan, who portrays the character known as John Constantine.
Okay, so yes, this is another example of Kelly being awkward while meeting.
Of course, hashtag awkward stories on Twitter.
Basking in the glow of the awkwardness. I was here when this happened.
So awkward. So awkward. Why am I like this? This is another, why am I like this? Okay.
Don't keep us in suspense, Kelly.
Okay, so backstory.
Go ahead.
Before I met, like a month before I met Matt Ryan,
right,
I had done a Boudoir Zatanna photo shoot. So that gives you a little spoiler alert.
Okay.
So I met Matt Ryan. I was dressed as Black Canary.
Yes.
Also important. We went to a con where Matt Ryan was a guest, but we didn't like, I wasn't going to pay to meet him because whatever, money was tight and just kind of over waiting in line to meet celebrities. But as we were just in the aisle for the convention, Matt Ryan had chosen to walk the aisle, and talk with people.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Really cool. So I turn around and he's just right there talking to people. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to wait my turn and talk to him. Why not? So I waited my turn. And after he finished talking to the people he was talking to, I stepped up and talked to him.
Sure.
And said, hey, I should have worn my Zatanna costume. To be clear, I have a normal Zatanna costume that I was saying I should have worn, not the boudoir one. So he was like, you should have. And then we had a really nice conversation about how, and he let me in on the fact that if Constantine would have gotten to season 2, he was pushing to have Zatanna in the show, which is right.
That would have been sweet. I would have liked to. And by the way, I don't know if they can cross this over because they portrayed her on Smallville with Zorinda Swan. But if Zorinda Swan showed up on Constantine Part 2, you can bet your bottom dollar that Ryan the Quote is going to be there to watch that.
Right.
I would have loved that. And Zorinda Swan, you're a wonderful actress, not counting the incident that happened with Marvel. But still, I digress.
We don't
Matt
talk
Ryan
about that or think about that. That was not her fault, and that was terrible.
Yeah, I think most people would agree. But yeah, so you and Matt Ryan are dating, and so anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but continue. What happened with your interaction with Matt Ryan?
Oh gosh, so
I walk up just as she's pulling her phone out, and I'm
pulling
like,
her phone out. Okay,
Kelly's pulling her phone out while talking to Constantine.
This is never good.
Like,
never good.
What's going on? But I'm too far away. We had separated for a moment, and I'm coming back.
Never leave me alone with celebrities. Never.
Right?
So I was thinking to myself, I was like, I really want to show him a picture of my Zatanna costume, but of course I don't have a picture of my normal costume on my phone. I was like, I just did a Boudoir Zatanna photo shoot last month. Would you like to see it? I don't know why. Why did I?
And what did he say in that thick accent of his?
Yes. But in my defense, I thought he knew he was agreeing to.
He did not know.
He had no clue.
I don't think he knew.
At least it didn't seem like it.
Okay. So I showed him 2 pictures.
Mm-hmm.
After the second picture, he goes, "These are too hot for my eyes."
So I walk up, like, just as she has pulled her phone out, didn't quite hear the beginning of the conversation, and then hear, "These are too hot for my eyes." And I'm thinking, okay, she's going to put her phone away.
I didn't hear him. I showed him a third picture.
You didn't hear his response to the pictures? Wow.
I showed him a third picture because I didn't hear him.
Okay.
I heard him.
So I showed him a third picture, and then you know, and he goes, "Oh, hello." I heard that. Then I put my phone away because we were ready to like leave.
Yeah. You were taking up too much of his own time.
Not that he acted like that. He was.
No,
really
he didn't care. He probably didn't care. Did you get an autograph or a picture with him at that point?
Mm-mm.
No, you just showed him your somewhat suggestive our NC-17 rated pictures. Like, oh, these are great, love, but these are too much for my eyes. I gotta go.
We get out of earshot, and I go, "Kelly, why did you show him another photo after he said that?"
Why didn't you get his autograph on an 8x10 at his booth? Because he does have those, by the way. Most celebrities have like thousands upon thousands of 8x10s that you can get signed. You realize that, right, Kelly?
I know.
Yeah, I was like, why did you show that to show him another one? And she was like, "What did he say?" And I was like, what he said was, "Those are too hot for my eyes." And she was just like, "Oh no!"
So I guess one of your things that you hope to achieve later on down the line in 2022 is perhaps meet Matt Ryan again, get a do-over, and say, "Matt, I'm sorry I showed you somewhat suggestive pictures of myself, but here's an 8x10 of you. Can you sign this for me, please?"
Like a normal person.
Yeah. Can you just, or you can go to one of the vendors at conventions and buy an 11x17 print of someone's version of Constantine and say, "Hey, I like this from this vendor. I'm going to buy this and have Matt Ryan sign it." Because that's what going to a convention is all about.
I can double down and make it worse and give him a print.
You want to give him a print of your pictures?
And
sign it.
Well, you're gonna have. Okay, I'm sure places do that nowadays.
No, but by the way, because people always ask, you can find those photos only on our Patreon.
Ooh.
Yeah, we don't post our PG-13 and boudoir stuff to Facebook. It's only on Patreon.
Fair enough.
Keep the page completely family friendly.
But the moral of the story is don't
say.
ever let Kelly meet celebrities, which is going to be interesting because I have a press pass for C2E2 where I will be interviewing celebrities. I promise not to show anyone boudoir photos.
When is this event taking place? C2E2?
December.
Oh, this December.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
John
So next
Paika's
month.
watching this interview going, "Man, what have I done?"
C2E2.
No,
that's one of the bigger shows on the map.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm
All
really
right.
excited.
C2E2. Try not to get too overwhelmed.
I've been coaching her. I'm just like, look, I've done big events before, like in my previous life when I used to work in like media related fields, right? And I'm like,
I just need to delete the boudoir photos from my phone.
Like, get on your phone, go to trash, put this delete, just like Matt Hardy would say in pro wrestling, delete, get rid of all of it. Sorry, that's my pro wrestlingism coming out, but don't worry, I won't drop any more pro wrestling words or liners on you because not everyone watches something known as wrestling. That's okay. We forgive you. If you, the viewer, don't watch wrestling, that's fine. Hey, you do you. That's all we can say.
wrestling. That's what me and my sister do, and there's only one Oreo left.
Really? You wrestling for it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. By the way, favorite type of Oreo?
The double stuff.
Yes.
Okay. So you say
the
double
hazelnut
stuff.
Oreos are really good.
Which ones?
Hazelnut.
Really? That's a thing?
Yeah.
I think it's new.
Is it new or has it been around a while? Does anyone know? Let us know in the chat. We'd love to hear.
Yes.
By the way, question for you, the viewer. What's your favorite kind of Oreo? Let us know in the comments. I'd like to hear about it. What's your favorite thing to snack on when you're taking a break from the daily grind of the 9 to 5? Or if you work 80 hours a week and don't have no sleep, let us know that as well. Caffeine is included. But, goodness gracious. Oh, I'm going off on another tangent. Anywho, wow, Matt Ryan. You know what? I'm trying to think. Here's a story for you. This one's a good one because you mentioned how he was going along his line before people got to his booth. He was shaking people's hands, welcoming people to the venue and all that. So other celebrities do this as well. I met John Wesley Shipp the OG Flash at a convention that was in the state of PA, because it's always sunny in Pennsylvania. I wasn't in Philly for this one, though. I was outside of Philly, so please just take that with a grain of salt. John Wesley's ship was late because he was doing photo ops, right? So when he's done photo ops, he's walking up to his line. His line's almost like a mile long because he's John Wesley's ship, and for good reason.
Yeah.
He walks up and he shakes hands with every single person in line. Says, "Sorry, I'm late, guys. I'm going to get to you. I promise. Don't worry. Everything's going to be fine." Came up to everybody, shook my hand, shook everyone else's hand, and then I got to his booth and I said, "Hey, man, I really liked you in The Neverending Story Part 2 because you played Bastion's father." You would think that I would bring up a Flash memory because I caught him on the new Flash, not the one from the 90s, because I didn't watch that at the time. Sorry, John. But he played Bastion's father in The Neverending Story 2, the next chapter. And I said, "Hey, what was it like filming that?" He's like, "To be quite honest with you, it was fun, but here's the difference, though. The interior shots of the house were filmed in one place, while the exteriors were filmed in another." It's like, oh, fascinating. But that's movie magic.
I love it.
You do it all the time. So yeah, John Wesley's ship, nice fellow, and a fellow DC alumni. Not that we're playing favorites, but
I'm wearing the wrong shirt for today.
it's okay.
Right? What's wrong with you?
It's the holiday season. Wear what you want. Wait, by the way, was that Natasha Romanoff I just saw?
It is. It's a Natasha Romanoff Christmassy.
Aw, is that your version of an ugly sweater for Christmas? No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
Yep.
I'm kidding.
It totally is.
I'm kidding. By the way, does anyone enter the ugly sweater contest in their neighborhood? Does anyone enter that?
No, my neighborhood doesn't do that. Your
You guys don't do ugly sweater contests? Oh.
My husband's family does it, and I know I can't compete because one guy goes all out and wears like an ugly holiday onesie. The entire thing is like chunky knit and like
my gosh, that's adorable.
Ornaments on it and stuff. Like,
yeah, my neighborhood doesn't do anything at all. Period. Like, no neighborhood togetherness.
Gee willikers, you're gonna have to liven that place up, Kelly.
They don't even decorate for Halloween, and it's sad.
What is going on in this neighborhood? It's so quiet. What's the deal?
We should just systematically buy up your cul-de-sac and make our own neighborhood.
That
is a dream.
Let's make it in the words of
I tried to get you to buy it.
Yeah. In the words of a wise person once said, "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood and a beautiful day for a neighbor. Wouldn't you be mine?" Let's do it that way. Just saying. So, my goodness gracious, so many cosplays, so many celebrities, so many stories. Gee, I wonder where we're going to go with this next. No, I know where we're going to go. So, by the way, we're talking with the dynamic duo known as Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, which stars Kelly and Krayley. If you have any questions for them, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. Make sure you're sharing this video with all 800 of your closest friends, because they're going to like the way they look after watching our videos on @It'sNerdCulture. I guarantee it. Now, our next set of questions for both you fabulous people are, in this episode of And I Quote, and every episode of And I Quote, I should say, is powered by Pod Decks. Yes. Pod Decks are the hottest new tool for podcasters looking to gamify your podcast. You simply shuffle up the cards, you ask a question, you let the content roll. Get yours today at poddecks.com. Make sure you use the promo code NerdCulture to get 10% off your order. You're not going to want to miss it. So, ladies, it's rapid fire time. I hope you're ready for this. So, Kelly, I'm going to start with you, and then we'll go to Krayley. You can answer this as well. Like I said, these questions are for both of you. We're going to go to each person one at a time. What famous person's memoir would you just love to read, Kelly?
Mark Hamill.
Isn't he the guy who played Luke something or other in a franchise
Luke
from like 45 years ago or something? Wasn't he the Joker at one point? I think he was. I think he was the Joker. I don't know. So, Mark Hamill, what about you, Krayley? What famous person's memoir would you love to read?
There are so many, but the one that's been heavy on my mind lately is Britney Spears because of her conservatorship battle.
Wow.
And it just seems like it would be so great to get to hear things in her words, like memoir style, if she wanted to do that. Like,
she has been through a lot, especially lately with everything that's been going on in the gossip columns and in the news columns. My goodness gracious, Britney. Goodness. By the way, going back to earlier, I should have brought this up sooner, and I apologize. Carl says, now I want to become a celebrity to see unsolicited boudoir photos.
Hey, Carl, Patreon.
Yeah, go to Patreon. Go to Patreon, Carl. There is something there for you. Maybe you'll find it.
There are many. Like one of the patrons we got last year I was like, so last month I wore no pants. And this person was like, send me the link now.
Yeah, I think I'm due to do another next year.
Jeez, Lord. Oh, Carl, look what you've done to our two guests. No, it's fine. They'll live to fight another day entirely. Now, when you have to study for something known as a test, what is a proven successful method to do so, Kelly?
Oh gosh. I didn't normally need to do much studying.
Because you were just that smart, like the guys on The Big Bang Theory?
I wouldn't say I was Big Bang Theory smart, but in high school, yeah, I basically never needed to study.
You were the brainiac?
Kind of.
No pun intended, DC.
Yes. Okay, so basically just skimming over my notes. We'll go with that.
Do you have a photographic memory? Is that possible?
I do not have a photographic memory.
You do not? Okay.
No, but skimming over my notes.
Skimming over your notes, not reading them, like the full length version of the story, like us when we had to read those books in school that we didn't want to read. We went something and we got the Cliff or the Spark Notes. Those were some fun times buying those Spark Notes, Kelly. Whew. Need to get through that book quickly. Just read the Spark Notes. You'll pass the test, right? Maybe not. I don't know. What about you, Crayley? If you had to study for a test, what is a proven successful method to do so if you're trying to study for one?
I don't cram right before the test. I do my studying ahead of time. And then the morning of, I'm like, if I try to like cram and like look for anything new or anything that I missed, I will start second guessing myself when the test comes. So I spend like the hour or whatever before the test relaxing. Like I'm just like, you know, gonna rest my brain for a little while. And when the test sits down in front of me, I will rely on what I prepared for before. I do not last minute cram. It makes me anxious.
Fair enough. Fair enough. This might be a funny question for the two of you, but we'll see how it goes. And by the way, if you have any responses to the questions that we are asking our guests, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. If you had to study for a test, what's the best method to study for it? Or if you had to read someone's memoir, which memoir would you want to read? Let us know. Love to hear from you. Who's someone you'd just like to trade places with for a day, Kelly? And don't say Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is off the table.
Someone I would like.
Nice guy, but he's off the table.
Yeah.
Someone you would like to trade places with for a day, just a single day. What are you going to do? Anybody?
That's a good question.
Hey, that's what we do on this show. We try to have fun and keep our guests or guests on their toes.
Paul Rudd.
Isn't that the guy from Clue something? Clueless. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was kind of a big deal back in the 90s, right? As if. Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Did I do well on my driver's test? Not so much.
Rolling with the homies.
Cher. you failed, Cher. But I digress. So you're going with Ant-Man himself. Ant-Man himself, Paul Rudd, who doesn't seem to age a day 50 years after he was born. Crayley, what about you? Who's someone you like to trade places with for a day? And it can't be Ant-Man because that's already taken.
Mike Mignola, who writes the Hellboy comics and lots of other stuff. But like, if I could trade places with him for a day, I could go through all his concept art.
Oh,
so
there is someone in our circle of friends who I think would agree with you, and that would be the one and only Brian Rodman. He is the writer and artist of Memoirs of an Angel, which is a horror fantasy comic where it's Lord of the Rings meets The Exorcist. If that's your bag, baby, yeah. Go to brianrodman.com for more information. Hashtag support your friends. Wow. Mike Mignola. Okay, I've seen the Hellboy movies, although the reboot wasn't all that good. But, yeah, good picks. Goodness gracious, these questions are really good for you young ladies. But
yes.
How about this one, Kelly? What is something that you don't mind paying more money for?
Ooh, something I don't mind paying more money for.
Could be a collectible. Could be something for your outfits. It could be something to give to Matt Ryan when you next see him on Valentine's Day. I mean, it could be something to that nature. I don't know. But the question on the table is, what is something you don't mind paying more money for?
Good sushi.
Good sushi. Okay. Interesting. What about you, Crayley?
Handmade art or like individual artists. I don't mind paying more for that. Like I'm buying their effort and time of making something by hand.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Support all indie creators of all shapes and sizes. I dig it. Such as yourselves, Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. Look them up on Patreon. You won't be disappointed. I can guarantee you that. The boudoir shots, though. That's a story that's gonna. A lot of people need. You, the viewer, are probably gonna remember that story for years to come. So thanks for sharing that with the world, Kelly. So how about this? We're going from one thing to another. What 3 things would you leave in a specific time capsule for people to open up in the next 50 years, Kelly? So kind of like what they did at Bayside, you know, they put all that stuff in a time capsule, then they flash forward like 10 years, and then the new class of Bayside opens it up, and Richard Belding puts a VHS tape, yeah, that's right, a VHS tape into his VCR, and he plays back all the wonderful memories of that classic 80s, 90s sitcom that made everybody so excited. But still, I digress. So what do you think, Kelly? 3 things you're going to put in a time capsule for the peeps to open up in 50 years. Could be anything. Anything at all.
Only 3 things.
Only 3 things.
Well, if it's a time capsule about myself, it would be probably pictures of my family.
There you go.
Phoenix Sisters pictures.
Aww.
And, what's the 3rd thing?
What is a 3rd thing?
That is a good question.
That's what we're here
Probably
for.
something Black Canary, like a Black Canary collectible.
Oh, Black Canary collectible. Interesting. Any thoughts on this one, Crayley?
I'm just imagining like a post-apocalyptic scenario where I left the capsule for like my near future descendants, and so I'm leaving behind like one of the survival.
Up. Oh, you froze there, ladies. I think our guests have frozen in time, so we are going to give them a moment to collect themselves. You're moving now.
Sorry.
You froze there for a moment, folks.
Yeah, we did.
All right, on behalf of myself and you, the viewer, Crayley, can you repeat those 3 items?
I would leave behind a survival manual that has like wilderness foraging and small game hunting behind, in case those skills have been lost.
Sounds like CW's The 100.
The family and stuff. Yes, absolutely.
Great show.
Probably a packet of the seeds from our chives and peppers, because they have survived so much neglect. So in my future apocalypse that I'm imagining happening, where I want to help my descendants get a leg up, there you go. You've got peppers and you've got chives. Those are my 2 plants that we can't seem to kill that are edible.
Goodness gracious. Well, this went deep, didn't it? Went deep into the Marianas Trench, don't you think? I'm not sure.
I feel like you would leave a
3rd thing
gun.
would be, if they don't have their own guns and they're my descendants, like something went weird in the timeline.
Then they deserve whatever fate.
You know what? A roll of toilet paper. They can save it for special occasions. Since apparently the main thing that goes on shortage when we have like national and worldwide problems is toilet paper. Just be like, here you go. This is my gift
for special occasions.
Right. Prices are going up, folks. So stay tuned. More to come with that. No, those are, hey, listen, 3 items, whatever works for you. That's what I would say to that. Gee willikers. Good ones though. Not going to lie. So we're in the midst of what is known as the holiday season. And the best thing we can do for ourselves as well as our loved ones and you who are watching this is give back. So Kelly, Crayley, I'm going to bring something up here and I want you to describe to us what this event is, how did it get started, when is the next one going to happen, and how can myself and maybe the individual who is watching this get involved. The Multiverse Funraiser. Tell us about it.
All right. So the Multiverse Funraiser is an online multi-fandom convention, but convention is kind of misleading because it is a free event that features celebrities and comic writers and fans, and raises money for a good cause. And each year we choose a different cause. This year, the cause is actress Valerie Perrine, who is struggling with Parkinson's disease and has been for many years. So we're giving money directly to her. And the next one is coming up in January. And let me double check the actual date in January. I should know this off the top of my head.
I should too, but I'm like so scared I'm going to say the wrong date.
I think it's the 23rd, but let me...
I believe it's listed on the Facebook page for this event.
Yes. January 21st through the 23rd.
There you go.
And you can watch it. It's going to be through Back of the Cereal Box this year. So you can watch it on the Back of the Cereal Box YouTube and Facebook, also on the Multiverse Funraiser Facebook. And basically, we'll have a link for donating a little closer to the event.
Mm-hmm.
And every donation will enter you into a sweepstakes to win some of our prizes, which we will also be posting more information about. And I've already been collecting the prizes. We have been getting donations for prizes from Etsy sellers and indie authors, and also even some mainstream authors. And we've been getting some really good donations this year. And so we're just going to be having this every January.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually the fourth event of this kind that I've had, but the first one under the new name, the Multiverse Funraiser, is the name that we're sticking with. So, and it's a really fun time.
Well, that is excellent. Cannot wait to see it come to fruition for next year, because we're going through these are dark times. There is no denying them, as they said in a Harry Potter movie that I saw like 100 years ago. But the best thing we can do is just give back. So I respect that. So kudos to everybody involved. We wish you the best luck with that event moving forward to January of 2022. Because what's better than one?
You're going to be
Two is
involved
better than
too,
one.
which
What's
thank
that?
you for that.
Oh, you have an announcement concerning the event? What was that announcement again?
No, I said you're going to be involved too, which thank you for that.
Excellent, Smithers. Yes, I am going to be involved in that. There is going to be a segment during the weekend of the Multiverse Fundraiser. I believe it's called B-List Boosters, if I'm saying that right.
Yes.
I'm going to be rounding up the troops. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite B-list characters. So we're not going to necessarily talk about the Super Loops, the Batmen, the Women of Wonder, or, you know, some guy named Captain something or other, Captain America, Captain this, Captain that, Iron Man this, Guardians that. We're going to talk about some of the characters that you may not know a whole lot about. Maybe some of those characters who don't get the love and affection that some of those peeps out there should get. So stay tuned. More to come, as they say on television. I'm saying it to you now. Cannot wait, Kelly. That's going to be a blast for sure. We want to take this opportunity to thank both Kelly Guentner and Craley. I'm going to butcher your last name. How do you say it?
It's Van Est.
Van Est. Craley Van Est of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay for joining us this week on And I Quote. We thank you so much for you lovely ladies for being here. But before we roll the dice, see if we won the jackpot tonight or not, and get out of Dodge, where can the people of the interwebs find you online and everything you have coming up?
Linktree.com/Phoenix's Cosplay has everything you could want to know about us, which is a lot. We have podcasts. Craley does her Pokeballs. That's where you can find the link to buy my book. And I think that's it.
I mean, it also has the Patreon, Facebook, and YouTube.
Oh yeah. I knew there was more.
I'm like, no, there has to be more than that.
That's why I set up a link tree, because otherwise I would be listing links for days. We're busy.
Yeah, that's true. And Linktree is a great resource if you're trying to get word out there about yourself, your creations, your art, whatever it is that you do. Yes. Check them out on Linktree. Well, thank you once again for being here. My name is Ryan of Nerd Culture. You can find me and everything that we're doing here on all forms of social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, because TikTok is kind of a thing. Yeah. Find us on @It's Nerd Culture. New videos are being posted each and every week on our YouTube channel, and also, and I quote, is every Saturday at noon Eastern, right here on our Facebook page, simply @It's Nerd Culture. And we also have some other special events coming your way very soon, whether it be the Multiverse Funraiser or some other stuff that we're going to be posting on social media. So hold on to your butts. It's going to be
Thanks
one.
for having us, Ryan.
Oh no! Thank you for being with us, both Kelly and Crayley. You're fabulous people. We wish you nothing but the best moving forward, and thank you for watching this. So, in the meantime, to all of you out there, stay healthy, stay strong, stay safe, read books, support indie creators of all shapes and sizes from all walks of life, and also don't forget to check out our good friends over at HWWS Web TV. They got a great lineup of shows run by a fantastic group of people. You're not going to want to miss that. And one more thing: don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. In the meantime, live long and prosper. Take care, everyone. Oh, and happy holidays.
Yes.
See you next time.
I'm GW Pomager.
I'm Dina Marie.
I'm Sage Ia.
I'm Thomas Carter Rochester.
Hey, I'm David Thompson.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Mia.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Hey there, this is Dave Adams.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Rose.
Jerome Conner here.
Hey guys, it's Josh Bauer.
It's Willow Schuyler.
I'm Cosplay Michael.
I'm Alva.
It's your boy Country.
I'm Ryan Permison.
And I'd like to ask you guys, please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please, please, please
subscribe.
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 Please subscribe to HWWS
Web TV.
Great bunch of people.
And don't forget to smash the bell.
Ring that bell.
Smash that bell.
Hit that bell.
Hit the bell to be notified.
Hit the bell to get notified of new shows
and videos. You're going to want to do that, so do that soon.
So we can cross that 20,000 mark.
And get us to 100,000 subscribers.
To 1 million and 10 million and 100 million.
On HWWS
Web TV.
You really like it. I guarantee.